Good morning. Welcome to Hoaxie Gardens and Homestead. It is a very pretty fall day today. In fact, it's kind of calm today and not like it has been for the past couple weeks. The leaves are starting to drop. Colors are starting to change. A lot of the greens that you have for salads here anyway are starting to die back. There are a lot of greens that will overwinter, but a lot of them I won't have the variety that I would have had. Now, I have harvested some longevity spinach, got it to rooting in my sunroom. It's doing really good, by the way. But I don't want to lose the nourishment, the nutrition that I get from the longevity spinach. It's one of the most important ones in my garden outside of the moringa. So I'm going to be harvesting a lot of the longevity spinach, and I'm going to be dehydrating as much as I possibly can so that I will have that nutrition through the winter. And there are several things that have already gone. My Egyptian spinach is one of the things, and I did harvest my leaves and dehydrated all that I could. And one day I'm walking by and the seeds were red and just starting to dry, and it seemed like the next day I walked by and they're starting to pop. They're brown and popping. So I got over there with my bowl and started harvesting. So everyone who's expecting seeds for my Egyptian spinach, it will be in the mail soon, probably about a week. I want to let it dry really good before I put them in bags and send them on their way. So what I'm going to be doing right now is harvesting my longevity spinach from many different places, and because I don't want to lose it to the frost. And some of it will make it through the frost depending on where, if it's got the shelter of the trees, those will make it through the frost. But the ones out in the open, we will lose some of those. But when the freeze comes, we will definitely lose it. So I want to get up as much as I can so that I can get it in and get it dehydrated. Now this is from 2 plants in the back, and I've got 6 or 7 more to go, but this is a good start. Okay, so I have stripped all my leaves off of the stalks. I have put them in the sink to soak in between a fourth and a half a cup of baking soda. That'll get off any residue that might be on it, dirt, anything that you don't want on it. We do live in a rural area, but there's a lot of tractors and, of course, cars and trucks that come through, and that carbon monoxide gets on everything, and this will just strip it off. And then I strained it, and I went through, actually, leaf at a time. When you're stripping them off, you see ones that are bad, and you throw them aside and feed those to the chickens or put them in your compost. My girls were really happy for them. But then after you take them out of the baking soda water and you're putting them into the other side of the sink, you're going through them again, finding something that you missed and making sure there's nothing left on those leaves. Then I put it on to soak again. And, realize that when you start messing with your leaves, you're going to get some discoloration. That doesn't mean the leaf is bad. That just means that you've been messing with it, maybe have bruised it. Don't throw those out just because you think that they're not looking good. Let me see. Okay, so I have gotten my spinach washed, gone through, washed the second time, rinsed, and I've got my first over here ready to go. Now, here are my dehydrator pans, and just like with any type of food preservation, cleanliness is what is most important. So be sure that if yours is this kind, that you take these out and wash these between each different foods. Like yesterday I was dehydrating the white zucchini. So I had to take these off and wash them. And don't forget to wash the bottom part of your trays. And if you have the kind that are all in one piece, be sure you wash them very, very well so that there's no bacteria or anything getting on your food that could cause you some issues. as long as things are kept clean, you won't have a problem with dehydrating your food, preserving it, putting it up. It'll be something that will work very well for you. Dehydration was hard for me to get started, but once I did, I really prefer it for many, many things. So I'm going to fill up my trays and take them to my dehydrator. And when you put them on, you want it to be as thin a layer as you can. It's really hard just to have one layer, but you're going to try your best. Leafy greens are not an exact science when it comes to this. So there we go. First one out. Okay, so I have gotten all of the trays filled except for the very top one. I did leave the top tray off because of the way the greens are. So I did leave the top tray off. So now we want to close it up. Put the front on it. And then, now being a living food and wanting to keep the nutritional value, we're going to put it at 115. 115. And then we're going to start it for 3 minutes. I mean, not 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and then we'll check it from there and we'll see how it's doing, and then we'll be grinding it to a powder. Okay, so I have been dehydrating for days, and that large basket, now that was a laundry basket, that large basket of longevity spinach took me 2 days to dehydrate. Takes a little longer than most stuff because it is so thick and full of moisture. But that basket got me this jar of powder. I went out and I picked another basket, and that gave me, and I didn't grind that to a powder, I left that whole. This one I will be putting in smoothies and that dressings and that type of thing. My salad dressings, good flavoring, and would be really good for that. And I'll use it sort of like a seasoning and putting it in smoothies. Then I dehydrated another basket full, and I got 3 jars of the longevity spinach left whole. And then I went out and did the same thing with my New Zealand spinach and got the same amount of that. New Zealand spinach dries really quick. It just took a few hours. I think maybe 3 hours as to 6 for the longevity. And it dries a really pretty green. So I don't know if you can tell the difference in the colors, but this is just a really pretty green. And then my Egyptian spinach. This is the jar of Egyptian spinach I got. I was not able to do any whole like that, but this I've got, and this I'll be able to use in smoothies, salad dressings, different things like that. Like I said, I'll be using these powders as a seasoning, and of course flowers. But so that's what I've been doing for days, is dehydrating, saving the harvest. Now, why do I do this? I mean, can't I just go to the grocery store for winter and, buy me some greens and have my greens that way? Sure, I can. I can do that. But it's not going to have the nutritional value that what I grew in my garden will have. And the reason that I garden, the reason that I do the things that I do, the dehydrating, preserving my harvest and growing my food to begin with, as I've said before, I grow with intent. I want a better, healthy life. I want to live a long life, but I want my long life to be healthy. And I do have health challenges, so it is important to me to do these things, have the most nutritionally dense food that I possibly can. And I really like it spring, summer, fall, because I have fresh from my garden. But during the winter, well, the late fall, winter, early spring, you're not having all that much. Now, I will have stuff. I have things that I will be growing, so I will have my fresh greens, just not to the extent that I have it during the summertime. So, but that's why I do it. I do it for my health. I do it so that I have things that are really nutritionally dense. You know, a fourth a teaspoon of this powder, of any of them, is, but especially this one, because the leaves are so delicate and thin, a quarter teaspoon of this is like 10 to 15 leaves. The longevity spinach, I would use in a salad dressing a quarter teaspoon, and I'm getting like 7 leaves out of it. Half a teaspoon, I'm getting 14. So you're really getting some nutritionally dense. You're not having to use all that much. It does give flavor, and if you like the flavor that you bring in from your garden, you can have that through the winter. But the health reasons, that's why I do it. So, thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I hope to see you again soon. Try to stay warm.